Welcome to Just Minding My Business Radio, where we are moving at the speed of God, learning what we didn't know we didn't know. I'm your host, Ida Crawford, so grab a pen and paper and get ready for information that you can use.
Welcome to another episode of Just Minding My Business. I hope your day was full of joy. I'm your host, Ida Crawford.
Hi, and I'm Ruth Haskins, the co-host.
And today we have Dr. Rita Bailey-Roland, CPA, who is a graduate of George Washington University with a degree in accountancy. She is a chartered federal employee benefits consultant and the founder and president of Affordable Benefits Solutions, Inc. She started her successful career at CSO as an agent. And CSO stands for what, Dr. Bailey?
The Charles Scott Organization.
Okay. Years later, she moved on to become president of EU Financial, Inc., a $1 million insurance agency. In 2004, Rita aided in the development of the government division of Financial Assurance Corporation and was appointed vice president. Well, welcome to the show, Dr. Rita Bailey.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes, we are happy to have you, and you sound like you are full of knowledge about finance. So first of all, I always like to go to beginnings. So how did you get on this amazing road of helping people with their finances?
Well, I really started, it's kind of interesting. I tell people that God always has a path for you. And sometimes we don't know our path. So I wanted to be a math teacher. And when I got to the 12th grade, I love numbers. I just love math. And I got to the 12th grade, and I said, students are not that great. But I can handle the students. But who I can't handle is their parents. And I can't probably deal with the administrator staff who won't support my way of teaching. So I decided that I didn't think teaching was good for me. So I opened up the newspapers, and I looked for jobs that dealt with money, and I saw accounting. And I was like, I can go to school to be an accountant. So my last year in high school, I took a course on accounting. I like this. I went to college, graduated at the top of my class. And after 3 years, Ruth and I realized I didn't like accounting. I was going to go postal on somebody. And prior to, it's like, I don't think accounting is for me. And so about 6 months, a man came past my house with his agent bugged me for like 6 months. Finally, I let them come over, and they sold me insurance. And one of the main reasons why I got in the insurance business was he reminded me of that day. My mother used to work for the government, and she died when I was 11 years old of colon cancer. And so I realized how important insurance was young, because my mother did have some, but not enough for 3 kids, a husband to support the family, to take us all the way through school. So at 23, I realized how important insurance was, and they offered me a part-time job. And so when you're 23, you got all this energy, and I was like, man, I don't want to do that. I just passed my CPA exam. I thought I just had it going on. And about 6 months of my brand-new Toyota Tercel, that's how long ago it was, had a car note, rent, food, charge cards. I was like, I need to make some more money. So I found his card, and I started the business. I really didn't get into it because I really wanted to help people in the beginning, really just to be truthful. I just needed to make some more money. But as I started doing it 29 years later, I realized that part of what I was birthed to do was to help free people financially. And that has come in the last 4 or 5 years, where my life coaching brand has made itself, has become apparent through me helping people financially, because I was broken. And in my broken state, it led me to a place of where I am now. And so our finances really can't get healed until we healed. And so that's another whole world.
It's funny how we have a plan, but God always has something different. And a lot of times we don't even realize what's going on, and next thing you turn around, you've been doing it for 29 years.
29 years. I tell people that I wanted to first solve math problems. And then he said, okay, I realized that wasn't going to work. So then I became trying to solve somebody else's, firm's problems in terms of auditing. I was an auditor. Then I didn't do that. Then I came to solving people's individual financial problems, which is what I think part of my gifting is. But I think what he really wants me to do as a life coach is to help people heal internally. And there's a really big connection between our money and our health and our mind. And so if our mind and our health is jacked up, more than likely our finances could be in the same track.
Wow. Dr. Bailey, you said a mouthful. Could you talk more in depth about that health-wealth connection?
So I would tell my story. It's a little personal, so I'm going to tell you all of it, but I'm going to tell enough to make it clear. My mother died when I was 11, and I was abandoned. So I had these abandonment issues. Now, my mother didn't leave us. She died. But on this day, we lived with our mother and our father. 8 days later, we buried our mom. We have new parents because at that point, my dad let him rest in peace, but at that moment, he was an alcoholic. Now, he got himself together after a year, and the last 30 years of his life, he lived healthy. But in that moment, he was an alcoholic. He wasn't in a position to raise his 3 kids. So in 8 days, our whole world changed. From this day, we had our mother, our father, these friends, this school, this neighborhood. Everything about us changed except for my aunt and uncle who raised us. And then later on, in a few years later, I was violated. So I carried that pain of feeling abandoned. And I was the youngest of 3 kids for my parents. And, at that moment, I didn't think as an 11-year-old or even as a 13 or 15, my brother and sister was only 13 and 14. They lost their mom, too. But I felt like they had abandoned me, too. And so one thing I would say as I interject here is that as people, especially African-Americans, we need to get counseling. We need to realize that it's not a bad thing to get some help. But I don't blame my aunt and uncle. They didn't know any better. We don't think about it, that we should have been processed through that. And so I carried this pain of abandonment. And then I was dark, and then I stuttered. So I didn't have, people thought I was slow. So I had all of these self-image and self-esteem problems. And so I go to school to be an accountant. So you become so goal-oriented. You want to be the top of your class. You want to make all this money. You want to have this nice car and this nice house. And all of that is designed so you can please someone else, because internally you're dying. You don't feel good about yourself. And so my body started to deteriorate. So the last 10 years has been a real quest to heal myself, because they said I had scleroderma, they said I had lupus, I had all of this stuff. And the Lord told me driving to one appointment, my last one, is that you don't have your problem is you need to heal yourself emotionally. So for 30-something years, I carried this feeling, this thing of being violated. People say, how could you wait so long? How you don't understand a person's story or their struggle with where they are, so you can't tell a person how long they're supposed to hold something or when it should come out.
Yes.
And so I carried that, and that thing made me buy clothes, things that I didn't need, because I wanted to dress up this pain. It made me buy cars and houses. In 2001, I bought a $500,000 house. My mortgage was $4,753.51. In 2001, I would never forget that number. But I wanted stuff to make me feel good.
Yes.
What that did was create this roller coaster effect of more debt, more bills, and then you're more depressed, so you're not going anywhere. You're just going deeper and deeper. And so your money and your mind and your heart is all connected, because he can't separate them.
That is so powerful. Thank you for sharing that.
So powerful. Thank you so much, Dr. Bailey, for sharing that, because it's so true. It's so true. I see so many people on the outside, they're beautiful. They have all of these different things that, money can buy, but in the inside, they're a mess.
Yeah, I was a mess. And I tell you, being married helped me. Sometimes, people, the divorce rate is high because our souls are so jacked up. We come to the table broken, and we expect the mate to fix us. And my husband one day went to go, and we had a moment, and that God said, at this moment, you need to fix that. It ain't him. It's you. You are the problem. And I started to see myself for a change, and started to deal with that violation and started to heal. And when I started to heal, everything about me changed, like my money changed and, how I saw things change. But the habits that were created over those 30 years of feeling that, you don't get rid of them that easy. I may no longer feel broken. I may no longer feel any of that. I forgave the person who hurt me, and I went through all that process. But those habits of spending and thinking the way, that's going to take a little bit more work.
Yes. And we know that our thoughts create our own reality. They really do.
Yes.
And those thoughts come from way back. They've been engineered into our subconscious, and we carry them forward even though we may not want to. Like you say, consciously we don't want to, but they are so ingrained that it takes a lot to be able to change that programming that we have. So now, as we move forward, what was your impetus into this new stage of your life?
I just been at a point where I'm helping people financially, and I keep going through this up and down roller coaster affair. Like God, what is this? Like, I'm a good person. I'm not bad. I help people. I don't do this and I don't do. And I start naming all the stuff that I don't do. Like, we think we so great and we got all of this stuff going on. And I said, Lord, why I keep being here? Why he said, you don't respect money. Oh, wait a minute. What did you just say? He said,
that's huge.
You won't respect it. It can't respect you, and I cannot honor you because I can't honor your habits. So God don't really care how much we cry and beg, Lord, help me, my rent's due. Well, you didn't come to me when you was going shopping, and you shouldn't have gone shopping. You wasn't coming to me when you had that trip. You ain't lay that on the altar. You ain't say, Lord, should I go on this trip? I really can't afford it. My rent's due. My car note's due. I haven't paid my taxes. Should I not go shop? We don't come to him for that. Oh, but when we get into some trouble, now all of a sudden we asking God to perform for us. That's just not how he works. He can't go against his word. He said we got to honor him in spirit and truth. And in truth, Rita, you need to pay your tax. You need to pay your bills on time. You need to stop living. You need to save your money. That's how you live. And when we live in honor and respect money, money has to obey us. But if we don't obey its principles, it cannot. And no matter how much you beg and cry, you're going to end up in that same place. You're going to end up there. You're coming back there.
Mm-hmm.
Girl, you ain't never lied.
That is a huge lesson.
Yeah.
Yes. You can talk about that for a while longer. I know the listening audience, your ears are wide open right now.
Yes.
They're going to be like so alert.
And so, I had to start living.
Say that.
I'm sorry.
Respect. What did God say?
He said I didn't respect money, and I didn't respect him in terms of money. Like, we got to live in honor. And he said, you pay, and here's my big thing, Lord, I pay my tithes. I pay big tithes. We feel like because we give God our tenth, we doing something. He like, you giving me what you owe me. I gave you the job. I gave you the brain. I gave you the business. Everything about you, you got that from me. I created you. So I created the opportunities that you had. What you give me is only 10% of what you, so now you think you're doing something? Your supernatural blessings come from when you honor it as well. So you won't save, or you won't invest, or you won't do all the stuff you need to do, or you won't fix your credit. Oh, that's not how this works. And I can't honor that. I can't respect that. I love you.
Yeah, but I can't honor that, and that's something that the whole issue of money is something that we are never taught about. We're never taught how money works. We're taught that we're supposed to go to work, get a job, get money, pay our bills, but we don't understand money. We don't understand what it is and how it works, and how to bring it into our lives. So as a result, we do everything in the opposite direction, or we sit and complain about what we don't have. And the more we complain about what we don't have, of course, that's what we're going to bring into our lives. We're going to bring more into our lives of what we don't want. And that's what I think, in a way, you're saying about honoring. If you don't have respect for money, then how do you expect it to come into your life? And I think
it's
many
just the laws of sowing and reaping. Just the laws of sowing and reaping. It's just the laws of sowing and reaping. If you sow some saving seeds, you sow some reserve seeds, you sow some house seeds, well, guess what? You're going to reap those seeds because you sown them. You can't expect to reap anything that you didn't sow. So I started to live on a 70-10-10-10. I'm going to tab 10%. I'm going to save for Rita 10%. I'm going to pay my taxes, and then I'm going to spend 70% in terms of my bills and living. If I can't live off, and it took a minute to get there because I had been living off 110%, 120. Now I got to go from living off of 110, 120 down to 70. And that means that's some shit. That means, I can't shop anymore. I told my girlfriend the other day I was in the mall. My husband was doing something, so I walked over to the mall just to walk around. Like, I was almost vexed. Like, I don't even have a desire. I'm a thrift store girl now. I got, consignment shops. We got too much stuff anyway. I don't even have a desire. I just want to not be in this place. And, we live in a world, this society and this DMV is a very sexy area. Everything's about our houses and our cars and all of this facade. Man, we're a bunch of broken people walking around trying to impress each other when for real we all in the same place. And it is, I'm just no longer in a place where I want it to, I don't want to live like that anymore. I want to have some stuff. Granted, we all want a nice car and a nice house, but that $500,000 house I had came with a big price tag. It came with some stress. I worked like a slave. People was like, how did you do it? With Jesus. That house brought me to some Jesus. And it's interesting, 2 weeks before I went to closing, I found my journal. We started a journal, stop a journal. So about 2 years ago, I found my journal. In the journal, 2 weeks before, like, God, I know I cannot afford this house because my credit was really bad then. It was in the low fives. So that was when the loan sharks would give anybody a loan. They gave me a loan at 10.475 interest rate. 10.475. That's why my mortgage was so high. And I said, look, God, we made this agreement. I can't get back my money. I have to put down $52,000 because it was $500,000 house to put 10% down. I said, I'm going to stay here for 6 months and then I'm going to sell the house. That was me and God's agreement. He down with that agreement. Well, I get up in the house, then I'm living like, guess what? Because I ain't healed, y'all. I'm living like Queen Bee. The whole third floor was my bed. It was 4-level townhouse in D.C., urban living. The whole third floor was my bedroom. I said, don't build nothing on this floor. Make it one big open room for me. I had a three-sided fireplace, a sitting room. The bathroom was bigger than most people's rooms, jacuzzi tubs and closets, all of this stuff. In about 2.5 years, the Lord said, you need to sell your house. He said it to me in a dream. I woke up and said, that couldn't be you, Jesus. Don't you know I live across the street from Gephardt? Chief Ramsey live over here. Chief Gaynor live here. So I ignored that dream. The next night he sent me another dream and said, you're going to have massive foreclosures. Yours will be one of them. He said, your house won't be worth $1 million no time soon. And I'm going to prepare a plan for you. I woke up and said, I think that one was Jesus. And I put that house on the market and sold it for $805,000. The other lesson I learned from that one is that obedience is important. I couldn't even afford the house. God still honored his word and let me sell it. Not when I should have been sold it. He is still a good God to us, even when we're hard-headed. He still provides for us. He still makes a way out of nowhere. How could a girl with bad credit buy a house she couldn't afford and he let her sell it and make $200,000? Where does that happen except for you got to hear God? You got to be okay to let your stuff go because what he's going to replace with, he gave me so much peace. I moved into that apartment. You thought I would have moved from that house to a mansion. I had so much peace because I was no longer living as a slave.
Yes.
Wow. That's deep. And it's funny you talk about that because my husband always asks me if I had $1 million, would I sell my house and buy a bigger house? And I'm like, no. For what? This is plenty enough. It takes me 4 hours to clean it as it is. I don't need nothing else bigger. This is it. I'm done.
I feel you.
But, when you talk about that, to be able to be content with what you have is so important, which is what Ida's talking about. And that's a lesson that you learned, that, bigger is not better. It really doesn't matter what you have because really nobody cares except you. While you're showing off the rest of the world doesn't really care. And they don't care that you're suffering. They do not care that you're suffering. And they're suffering too, so they know that you're suffering.
Right.
So
that's right, because they got their own problems.
Yes. So when we start letting go of stuff, when we start letting go of trying to impress anybody, and sometimes what you brought up is so valid. Sometimes we do it out of a place of not enoughness because we don't feel that we're enough. We don't feel that we're worthy. And so much of that is buried in our childhood. It is definitely coming from our childhood experience and growing up experiences. So now how do we, as adults, begin to make that transition from all of that we don't want and make that health and wealth connection? How do we go about doing that? Are there steps that we can take?
Well, I think, first of all, well, for me, and I would be open to, is that I am a life coach. I am a certified life coach as well. That, you know, for me, my journey started in 2008 when I got a life coach, and I started to heal. And so this healing process for the last 10 years, I've been on this journey of healing my soul. And when you're healed, the stuff that you, because I don't have a self-image problem. I can't say that it's 100% gone. Every now and then we all got a little something, but I don't have that. That girl don't want to impress you no more. I don't care about the houses and the cars anymore. And so that there, once that's healed, then my finances heal, because I'm no longer spending and buying things that I don't need to buy anymore. And then for me, my health was deteriorating. My bones were just crumbling, like they thought I had lupus scleroderma. My fingers were going crooked. The doctors couldn't figure out. If I showed you a picture of me 10 years ago, it looked like I'm 10 years older. And my scripture, I do a show every fourth Thursday of the month, and it's called I Am My Sister's Keeper. And I do it so you can register at RitaBRoland.us, Rita B. Roland, ROLAND.us. And in that thing, I tell people that in Proverbs 17:22, it says that basically saying a merry heart is like medicine, but a broken spirit dries up the bone. And we're a nation full of people with arthritis and joint issues because we're carrying a lot of stuff. And guess what? If you're sick all the time, you got to go to the doctor, you spend the money, you missing work, your finances is connected to that. So healing your emotions, and what I learned is that 9/10 of our illnesses lie in our minds. Not somewhere externally, is how we think and what we feel. So what I felt is that all those emotions I was internalizing was deteriorating my bones. So when a doctor can't find something, Louise Hay says that if it's an incurable disease, it means it came from nowhere. It must go back to nowhere, which means we must look internally to heal the problem. So when we start to heal ourselves and our souls, our body starts to heal. We now have a new respect for money. I can now save. I don't need them shoes no more. I don't need any more clothes. I may need something, I need it, but I don't need to just go shopping to impress. My money is changing. I don't want to go out all the time. So for me, healing became my way to get free. Because if you're not free, this is a vicious cycle. We get money, we lose money. We get money, because there's no connection, if you don't understand it, if you understand that money is a spirit, you understand that you got to honor it, if you don't heal your body. God said that we're supposed to be whole people, our mind, our body, our souls, our spirit. It's all supposed to be in balance. So if you got one off kilter, it's going to mess up the rest of them.
Indeed. I really appreciate that you mentioned one of my favorite people who has since gone on, but Louise Hay and her book, You Can Heal Your Life.
Yes. Whew. Life-changing, right?
Yes, it is. So much of what she said is so true. I listen to her frequently. She had a big impact on my life years ago when she made her first little tiny book that she talks about. And in it, she talks about the different things that cause different types of illness. And over time, I found that it's true.
It's
if you have
true.
problems with your ankles, it's about, you're afraid of going forward in your life, problems with your breathing. There are just so many things, just what you were saying. These diseases come out of nowhere, so they've got to go back to nowhere. They're not real. We brought them on ourselves, and we create them. And that's why they say so often with patients or anyone who has any type of chronic disease, that when they say that, all of a sudden they've been miraculously cured or healed, it's because the person has changed their thinking.
Yep.
And that's one of the things, again, Louise Hay, Wayne Dyer, so many have that same belief. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change, which is what you're saying about money. Money it's not real. It's a blip on the screen. It is tangible only because we have it. We're able to reach out and feel it. But it really is you use the word spirit, something along that line. It's not what we think it is. And because we are thinking about money in the wrong way, we're thinking that I have to have it so I can go spend it, so I can go show off. We miss the real point of it, which is just simply to provide. It is the way that things move. Things move according to where the money is. That's something we have to learn. But it's about that really very simple premise. When you change the way you look at money, the way you look at money changes.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's what we're having such a hard time doing, because we come from a culture, most of us do, of people who work really, really, really hard and still get very, very little for their money. I can honestly say that about my mother. That was her premise, to work really hard, not have much to show for it, die young, and leave a really bad taste in the mouths of her offspring, because we never learned what money is really for. And that is, by and large, it's what we see throughout our communities. We don't understand money. And so we end up being enslaved by it, one way or the other. Either we get it and spend it, or we don't get it and we're still enslaved because we're locked in a box that we feel we can't get out of. Sorry for rambling on.
No, that was good. And I think what you're saying is that we're a slave to it, because if you think about it, you use the word slave, which is a perfect word, because this is a generational thing. And I don't want to hope I don't offend anybody, but, there's some curses. And, what we learned from our parents and what they learned about money, if you think you could go back, this stuff goes way back, and that we have to become this generation to change how we see things. So one of my special groups that I work with now are the millennials, and people's like the millennials. Those young people are sharp, but we must feed into them. You know why I need them to be great people? Because them millennials are going to be taking care of me. Yeah. I need them to be the best that they can be. So I need to pour. So I'm doing a lot of work with the millennials to help them with their finances, because if I know what I know now, when I was in my 20s and 30s and made money, I wish I had the wisdom that I had now. Now, one of my mentors said that youth is wasted on the young, and that is such a profound statement, because we can't get that back. But I tell you, we could go back to what we know today. Boy, would life be different. So we got to pour into our young. We got to teach them some things about money, and we can't be ashamed. There's a lot of shame. And so,
absolutely.
Yeah, we know, we need to get rid of the shame. So people be like, you tell all your business and you tell people, I'm like, look, I've been delivered. So you can't put me back on that slave camp. I've already been set free. So you can't make me feel bad about having bad credit or buying a house I couldn't afford or a car and tailor-made suits. I've been delivered from all of that. So I'm telling you, because I need you to be delivered. Don't feel bad for me. I'm free.
Here's something I want to throw out there that's really important, and what I hear from you is a lot of gratitude. And I know there are going to be people listening to this. One of the things, when we see ourselves in desperate straits, many of us are deep in debt. We bring home $20,000 a year and we're $60,000 in debt. That is not unusual in this country.
Not.
But one of the things that we have to learn how to do is to learn how to look at the thing that we think is so awful and express gratitude for it, because that can be our actual deliverance. When we express gratitude for the difficulty, gratitude for the fact that things aren't the way we expected them to be, then it's like Source, God, decides that, okay, well, I can work with this. Because when you start being grateful for the difficulties, those difficulties end up being your greatest teachers. Right. It's like an amazing reversal. you know, where you've been running around with your head down going, oh, my goodness, what am I going to do? All of a sudden it's like, oh, yeah, that's the problem. I see it. Now let me look in the opposite direction because I need to find the solution.
Yes, and there's never a lesson that we've ever learned that was not without some type of pain to it.
No pain, no gain.
Yeah.
So what you guys are saying is that we need some delayed gratification, and we can learn from the wisdom of the wild, as I say, and I use the animal, the orangutan, and so in that thing is patience and trying to make a decision very important. So before the orangutan sits on that tree limb, he's a little heavy little thing. He tests the weight of the limb to make sure that limb can hold his fat butt. Well, that's what we need to do before we go buy stuff. We need some delayed You know what? Let me pay a $500 car note for 6 months to make sure I can afford this $500 car note. If I put the $500 in my savings account and on the second day I got to go back to borrow $100 from this, and before at the end of the month I only got $200, that tells me I can't afford that $500 car note.
Very wise.
That's right. Yeah, before this has definitely been very, very moving. I'd like to know more about your company, Affordable Benefit Solutions, Inc.
So we are a full-service financial solutions company, and we help people to find solutions from a holistic approach. So I just don't want you come see me and I sell you insurance. I look at your whole life, your whole picture. And so whether you may need some life insurance, sometimes people come to me, I say, I can't help you yet. I need some insurance. I need a retirement plan. No, what you need is a budget. You can't even save anything. Like you have $200 in your savings account. You can't even go 1 week without a pay. Not even a month. You can't even go a week. So we go from budgeting. We help people with their credit and debt solutions. So we have solutions for that. We have retirement solutions. We help people to have a guaranteed income. We do long-term care. We do life insurance. We teach people how to be their own banker. So depending on what you need, we have a solution. But we take you first and we do a full analysis. We like the doctor. You come to the doctor and they take your blood work. Some doctors do. Some of them just ask what's wrong and they give you a prescription. We're not those type of financial planners. We're not just giving you a prescription. We're helping you to heal yourself financially. So we're looking at your whole picture from a holistic approach so that we can bring you some real solutions to help you reach your financial destination.
Okay, and how do our listening audience get in touch with you?
You can call me at the office, and that number is 301-577-6340. Again, that's 301-577-6340. And you can reach us also on my website. It is www, it's kind of long, you guys, Your AB Solutions Inc. So I'm going to spell it for you. It's YOUR, A as in apple, B as in boy, solutions with an S at the end, INC, like ink. So yourabsolutions.com, and you can go visit the site. We do a live show every other Friday called Financial Fed Friday. So every Friday from 10 to about 10:30, we giving you some little tidbits about finances. So join us. You can like us on Facebook, and our handle is Your AB Inc. So Your AB Solutions. So check us out on Facebook. We're also on LinkedIn. So follow us and get some really good information. Also, if you work for the government, please reach out to me as well. I wrote a book called Understanding Your Federal Employee Benefits for the New Retirement Climate. So I have a heart for government employees. Both my mom, when she died, she worked at the post office. My dad, he later worked there. My stepmom, my family, they work for the government. So I wanted to make sure I understood what they had so I can help them. And so I've been helping hundreds of thousands of government workers, from unions to blacks in government, FEW, NTU, AFGE, all of those people. That's what we do, is we help people find solutions to their financial problems.
Mm-hmm. Oh, my. This has been an awesome collaboration surrounding money and the truth about money. And it's been eye-opening for me, and I know it's been eye-opening to our audience as well. So, Dr. Bailey, one last thing before we wrap up. What would you like to tell our audience?
To do what I do now. Consciously live. Stop, breathe, think. Stop, breathe, think. What I preached on last, I think it was about 2 Sundays ago, that we live in this robotic state, this country. Everything is robotic. We're just doing things automatic. We go to Facebook, we just like this. We just robotic. We're not always consciously thinking about what we're doing. Do I really need to go to the store and buy this? Like today I went to the store, I wanted coffee. My habit wanted coffee. My consciousness said, you don't need coffee, you shouldn't have coffee. So I had to stop, think about what I was doing, and not what I do every day is buy coffee. I had to stop, think, breathe. You don't need coffee. I got some organic green tea. You see what I'm saying? So we can learn how to shift, but we got to stop, we got to think, and we got to breathe, and we got to be consciously living and not robotically living in every aspect of our lives. We got to seek the Father and be consciously living.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for that.
Thank you so much. Thank you. That was an excellent way to end this show, and we truly appreciate you. And it was definitely worth the wait for you, Ms. Dr. Bailey. You definitely brought it to our audience this day.
Thank you so much for having me on. It's truly been a pleasure. It's just an honor to help people get free. You know, God don't allow us to, everything about me is not about me. Everything about what you girls are doing, you ladies are doing, is not about you. It's about the people you are designed to help. So my life, all of my mistakes, all of my pains, all of that wasn't for me to be selfish and keep it to myself and cry my whole life. It was for me to get up off my tail, do something about it, hear from Him, move out, and help someone else. Because there's somebody else's life, their life is designed to help me. Because we're not born for ourselves. We're born for each other. So because we've made ourselves selfish, God did not make us that way.
Mm-hmm. You're absolutely right about that. And one more time before we wrap up, how do our audience get in contact with you?
Again, you can call me at my office at 301-577-6340. You can visit my 2 sites. My financial site is www.yourabsolutions.com. That's yourabsolutionsinc.com. And you can reach me at my life coaching site, which is www.RitaBRoland.com. Rita, RitaBRoland.com. Rita B. Roland.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Bailey. Ruth, is there any last words you'd like to say?
No, just thank you very much. This was enlightening, encouraging, and so supportive. Thank you so much for coming on the air with us.
Thanks again for having me. You guys are the best. Keep doing this good work. People need to hear from the world because all of us got something for all of us.
Agreed. Yes.
This show is brought to you by the amazing women of a Sister Circle Empowerment Network, ASCEN LLC, where we are never in competition, but always in collaboration, and our valued sponsors. Learn more about our sponsors and their services and membership in a Sister Circle, ASCEN LLC, at www.asistercircle.org. To learn about becoming a sponsor for Just Minding My Business Radio and how our marketing package benefits your company, please visit our website at www.asistercircle.org. Voiceovers by RCH VoiceWorks. Contact slvoiceworks8201 at yahoo.com or call 443-620-4115.
Thank you for tuning in to Just Minding My Business Radio. I'm your host, Ida Crawford. We hope you enjoyed the show and appreciate you stopping by. Many blessings to you and yours.